The government of St. Kitts and Nevis has published the Emergency Powers COVID-19 Regulations 2020, number 13, which came into operation on Saturday, August 8th at 5 a.m. and expire on 4:59 a.m. on Saturday, August 29th. The curfew now in effect is 2 a.m. to 4:59, which has been reduced by 2 hours. The curfew used to be 12 midnight until 4:59 a.m. This means that the public will be allowed to move freely and businesses and enterprises will be allowed to operate from 5 a.m. for one day to 1:59 a.m. of the following day. Social distancing and physical distancing protocols will apply, and establishments are expected to make the necessary arrangements to facilitate them. The regulations now reference a first phase of reopening, and the specifics are set out in Regulation 19. Once the respective minimum standards are adhered to, in accordance with Schedule 3 and Schedule 4, Part 1, privately run early childhood education centers and hotels may apply for approval to reopen during a first phase reopening period. Also under Regulation 19, sports management teams or clubs within each sporting discipline may apply to the Ministry of Sports for permission to host spectator-less inter-team or inter-club practice matches by using the application form that is published in Part 2 of Schedule 4. Section 15, which speaks to wearing masks when in public place, a public place is defined on the first page of the new COVID-19 regulations and has been expanded. That regulation now states, notwithstanding the provisions of the Small Charges Act, a person shall wear a face mask covering their nose and mouth when in a public place once a period of emergency is declared in relation to COVID-19. A person shall not be required to wear a mask if he or she is under the age of 3 years old, if he or she suffers with a disability, cognitive impairment, dementia, asthma, chronic obstructive lung disease, or other similar health condition, or if he or she is within a private space, including a private vehicle. A regulation that speaks to penalty, now Section 22, has also been expanded. The expansions deal with the authority that a police officer has under the regulations. Under Section 22, a police officer may issue a $500 fixed penalty notice, that's a ticket, as published in Schedule 6 of the regulations, to any person who contravenes the provisions of Section 15 in relation to wearing a face mask in public places. If the person without the mask is between ages of 3 and 18 years old, the parent or guardian of the minor shall be issued with the fixed penalty notice. The Emergency Powers COVID-19 regulations can be accessed at www.sknis.kn, www.covid19.gov.kn, or the ZIZ website. A direct link is also available on the SKN Newsline website, www.sknnewsline.com. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
Persons entering St. Kitts and Nevis when borders are reopened will pass through a process aimed at protecting the country against the spread of COVID-19 while providing visitors and residents a welcoming experience. Abdia Samuel, head of the COVID-19 task force, indicated in a recent press conference that a tracing app is being developed by a national of St. Kitts and Nevis at no cost to the government for use in the quarantining program. Meanwhile, other protocols will be in place to facilitate entry at air and sea ports in the Federation. Abdia Samuel explains.
No, you arrive into St. Kitts and Nevis. You have to come off of the aircraft, enter into the buildings. But before you enter into the building and engage with our border agencies, such as Immigration and Customs, we are saying, listen, you engage technology. What's the technology? Touchless kiosk. So you walk up to the touchless kiosk, the kiosk will screen you. That's the first set of, that's the first process. So the kiosk will screen you. As the kiosk screens you, it gathers all the information necessary for all the frontline agencies that needs to have that information, in particular the health, port health and health. Now, after you are screened by this high-end technology, and the reason why we need to use high-end technology is because we have to remain competitive in the market. We want to give visitors and citizens and residents alike the best experience in entering into St. Kitts and Nevis under the COVID-19 new norm. So the technology takes all this information from you, so you finish with the screening. From the screening, you will then move You will then move over to the medical testing booth. Next slide, please. Medical testing booth. So this is a negative pressure testing booth, whereby we are protecting the healthcare worker and also the passenger entering St. Kitts and Nevis. So therefore, as you can see on your screen, there will be little to no contact between the passenger and the healthcare worker. So the healthcare worker will enter his hands through, his or her hands, through the gloves, as is right there, take the sample, and after they take the sample, then the sample will be processed further. So you go one, screening using the technology, where all your medical information, your temperature is taken. Secondly, you move right there to the medical testing booth. After you go to the medical testing booth, then we will have cameras actually picking up temperatures as well, so that if we miss you one way, we're going to pick you up the other way. And what will happen if you have a high temperature, if you go back one slide, please. If you have a high temperature, the camera then will register an alarm, it will take a picture, and that image will be stored for tracking. So using that image, you will be tracked. What that will do, it would assist the portal officers in terms of monitoring persons with potential symptoms. Now, that is just the infrastructure that is needed at the airport.
In addition, the Tourism Authority will be facilitating the COVID-19 certification of taxi operators in the Federation. Glenn Barth, SKN Newsline.
36 recruits have become new officers of the St. Kitts and Nevis Defence Force at a graduation ceremony at Camp Springfield on Friday. At the ceremony, Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris commended the 36 new officers for choosing to serve. He urged them to do all they can to uphold the values of the law enforcement agency, which they now represent.
As you start your military life, you will realize that these are not just words. And I thought that for today, we should take a little bit of time to emphasize a few of the core values. 1, military discipline. Discipline is a hallmark of the life of a soldier. Even what you may consider to be simple things, for example, breaches in punctuality, cleanliness, order, and personal conduct, cannot be tolerated or accommodated in the Defense Force, because they can breed a culture that potentially can result in the most dire of consequences for the Defense Force under certain circumstances.
23 of the recruits completed 20 weeks of intense practical and theoretical training as part of the Basic Military Course 1 of 2020 and are now officers of the Alpha Company or the Regular Corps of the Defense Force. An additional 13 recruits graduated the course and will now form part of Bravo Company or the Reserve Corps. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
It's not just iced tea and it's not cold tea. But who said we couldn't be in the middle? We are Mother Becky Quenchers, a herbal iced tea. It's a different and innovative take on using traditional herbs for tea. It's a home-brewed blend of natural organic herbs and spices, ready to drink at any time. We've turned ingredients you've used many times into something crisp, thirst-quenching, and did we mention taste awesome? Drinking tea just got better. Mother Becky Tea.
In these stressful times, you need relief, a way to release your stress and care for your health. You need Serenity. Yes, Serenity Mobile Spa, where we come to your home and offer the very best in massage and spa treatment. Your health is our priority as we practice the highest hygiene procedures before, during, and after your treatment. Choose from massages to meet your physical needs, scrubs, facials, waxing, and much more. We also provide our customers a complimentary serving of refreshing local coconut water with each massage. During these restricted times, we urge our customers to stay healthy. We will come to you.
Call us at 762-0157
or 760-8899. Find us on Facebook, Serenity Mobile Spa St. Kitts, or email us at serenitymobile-spa869@gmail.com. Serenity Mobile Spa.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one.
The continued existence of a nightly curfew helps to curb the possible spread of the COVID-19, said Dr. Hazel Laws, the Chief Medical Officer of St. Kitts and Nevis. Speaking at a recent briefing on the local management of the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Laws responded to a query on the need for a nightly curfew, even as some individuals have been calling for an end to that curfew. According to the Chief Medical Officer, the curfew reduces the chance of persons spreading the virus in the local population.
Now, the curfew helps to enforce physical distancing and social distancing, because come midnight or before, because you're advised to start heading home, giving yourself enough time to get there by midnight. And so the curfew helps to enforce the physical distancing and the social distancing measure. Yes? And so ultimately, the curfew helps to reduce the transmission of the virus. So, let us say I'm on the strip and I'm exposed to somebody who inadvertently has, somebody who has this virus, and I may have contracted it. If I am allowed to stay on the strip until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m., the risk of my transmitting or passing on the virus to others who I'm interacting with is increased. However, if I head home by midnight, just the fact that I'm home, that reduces the risk of my transmitting the virus to a big number of persons. So yes, you can catch the virus at 11:30 p.m., but the curfew helps us to reduce the transmission of the virus to a large number of persons.
Health and security authorities have noticed a slackening in the wearing of masks in public spaces and have called on residents to adhere to the COVID-19 non-pharmaceutical protocols. Glenn Bart, SKN Newsline.
The Nevis Island administration suffered an 18% decline in revenue for the last 4 months of the year due to the economic fallout of the COVID-19 crisis, disclosed to Premier Mark Brantley.
Government revenue is down dramatically. To give you an idea, as of June 2020, the NIA revenue was $59.7 million. That fell short of the projected revenue of $73.5 million by some $13.8 million, or 18.82%. Put differently, we're 18.82% less than we anticipated we would have had as of June. The government, therefore, is experiencing its own crisis in terms of its ability to pay its staff and to pay those who work for government and the ongoing commitments that the government has. With revenue down, you can understand that we have been struggling on the island of Nevis.
Premier Brantley said that despite the struggle, the government moved to deal with the issue of food security at the start of the pandemic.
Our farmers and fishers have received unprecedented assistance. That has included free seeds, free seedlings, free fencing wire, free fish pot wire, free fertilizer, free land preparation, and in some cases we provided labor from the agricultural department to go and work on some of these farms at no cost to the farmers. We have also offered free water for 6 months. reduce costs at our abattoir, and most recently, we were able to benefit some 100, I believe, and let me see if I have the number here. Yes, 154 livestock farmers benefited from free feed through a process with ECGC in St. Vincent, where we got an entire container of feed from them that we distributed to our farmers for free.
Premier Brantley also disclosed that several Nevision families benefited from the government's food assistance program.
The Concerned Citizens Movement spearheaded the program. Of course, I'm the leader of the party. But what we did was we persuaded the cabinet members to contribute to a fund of $13,500 each month. And the months were May, June, and July. 3 months. $13,500. And let me emphasize that this is money from our pockets. This is not coming from the Treasury. Everybody was asked to contribute. And we came up with a fund of $13,500 per month for food vouchers. Our pledge was that no family in Nevis should go hungry during this pandemic. Would you believe, ladies and gentlemen, that $13,500 that we started with, we were able from that to provide vouchers of $150 each to 162 families in the month of May. In the month of June, we were able to benefit 300 families, and we are currently now collecting the data for the July allocation, which we hope to go out today or tomorrow. And so far, this initiative has benefited persons to the tune of $69,300 in food vouchers at $150 each.
Mr. Brantley further disclosed that 250 domestic consumers have benefited from the 50% rebates offered by NEVLEC. 1,666 persons benefited from the Social Security Relief Package on Nevis, valued at $3.52 million. The Premier noted that the thrust now is to look to reopen the borders, and by virtue tourism, which is the mainstay of the Nevision economy. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. The Chamber of Industry and Commerce paid tribute to noted businessman Mr. Omax Gardner, who recently passed away. The Chamber said in a statement issued Friday that Mr. Gardner, a senior partner of the firm of Panel Care Forster and Company, assisted the Chamber with audit, accounting, and financial advice for several years, exhibiting the skills of a consummate professional and astute businessman. He has been a long-standing ally of the Chamber and provided exceptional services to the private and public sectors, always promoting fiscal prudence, well-considered investment decisions, and full compliance with taxation and company laws. Integrity, honesty, and proficiency were hallmarks of his character, the Chamber said. The organization said his wealth of experience and sound financial judgment will be greatly missed. The Chamber extends condolences to his family, colleagues, and friends in this untimely bereavement. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
St. Kitts and Nevis' Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris affirmed support for the mandate of the St. Christopher National Trust and pledged assistance to its programs. Speaking at the August 1st opening of an exhibition marking the 50th anniversary of the MV Christina tragedy, Prime Minister Harris acknowledged the failing of not having a memorial on St. Kitts in honor of those who lost their lives in one of the Caribbean's worst maritime disasters.
I wholeheartedly endorse the mounting of this exhibition by the St. Christopher National Trust and the National Museum of St. Kitts. And I would commit that in our next budget, we will set aside $25,000 to meet the next exhibition, and we will continue to do so each year. I want to pledge further that my government will, before the next commemorative event next year, properly establish an appropriate memorial in honor of the memory of those who have perished.
The long-standing absence of a memorial on St. Kitts was highlighted by Mr. Snideman Warner, the president of the St. Christopher National Trust, as he placed the need in context.
After 50 years, we still have nothing on the island of St. Kitts to commemorate the events of August 1st, 1970. Let me give you some symbolism. There were approximately 50,000 people on St. Kitts and Nevis in 1970. There were approximately 8 million people in New York City on September the 11th, 2001. The population of the United States of America on that day was 285 million people. Now, about 230 people died in St. Kitts and Nevis. If the same number of New Yorkers had died that day, the death toll would have been 36,000. But taken as a nation, if the same number of Americans had died that day, 1,285,000 people would have died that day. That is what the death of those people meant. There wasn't a single person alive that day who did not know someone who was on that boat. And there wasn't a single person who was alive that day who was not related to someone who died that afternoon.
The MV Christina disaster remains etched in the national psyche of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Glenn Bart, SKN Newsline.
This would have been the second week of competition at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Athletes from basketball, gymnastics, athletics, football, volleyball, and tennis would have been in the thick of their various contests. St. Kitts and Nevis would have already made their grand entrance on the Olympic stage with the opening ceremony to the cheers of millions around the world. However, the COVID-19 pandemic has changed all that, forcing the Summer Games to be rescheduled to next summer, 2021. Despite the mayhem and uncertainty caused by the deadly virus, which has killed hundreds of thousands globally, the International Olympic Committee is using its channel to relive the excitement and nostalgia of the Games past.
1 year to go before the 2020 Olympics. In fact, that's what we thought. The coronavirus, COVID-19, has put all that into abeyance now. And whilst we are still looking forward to holding the 2020 Tokyo Olympics in 2021, this weekend would have been the very first weekend we would have experienced in Tokyo, Japan, had the Games gone by. To keep the imagination going, to keep the creativity going, to keep the morale up, the International Olympic Committee, the National Olympic Committees, the 206 National Olympic Committees worldwide are doing a number of creative, innovative things. One of the things we are doing is joining with the International Olympic Committee to help us remember what it could have been like during this time. So if you were to join the International Olympic Committee Olympic channel, you would see them sort of replaying a number of things which happened in previous Olympics. For our own sake here in the Olympic Committee of St. Kitts and Nevis, we are very much a part of those celebrations. And we are doing a number of things in our own way, which help us to disseminate some of the very information, some of the very images that you could find on the Olympic channel that they are creating at the international level, to find an opportunity for it to reach the community level, the national level, and among the member federations. You'll also find a lot of that stuff on our own website, the National Olympic Committee website, and various media houses throughout St. Kitts and Nevis.
Time, the race to find a vaccine for the virus has intensified. Many experts believe that a vaccine is the only hope for a Tokyo Olympic Games in 2021. For now, we reminisce, we pray, we hope, and we practice social and physical distancing in the hope of an end to this medical crisis.
For all your printing needs at top-notch quality, go to Digital Print Plus, located on Princess Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts. At Digital Print Plus, you get the best in business cards, letterheads, envelopes, wristbands, tent cards, rack cards, flyers, brochures, logo designs, posters, photos, architectural designs, 3D renderings, and so much more. Digital Print Plus gives you the best quality at competitive prices. Contact us at 767-7468 or email digitalprintskn@gmail.com or follow us on Facebook at digitalprintskn. Digital Print Plus, for all your printing needs at the best quality. Now you can have SK Newsline on the go. Introducing SK Newsline Android mobile app. Search SK Newsline in the Google Play Store. Download the app free and stay up to date with TV news in St. Kitts and Nevis in the palm of your hands. With this app, you can watch your news reports, watch our live news feed on SK Newsline TV, engage with us and other app users in the chat room, look at our special features, send us news tips, and call us directly. It's news on the go. The SK Newsline Android mobile app. Download it free today.
Banners, commercial signs, decal printing, canvas prints, license plates, posters. We at Multigraphics are dedicated to providing quality products and service to our customers. Our team takes pride in the craftsmanship and is passionate about its work. Every job, large or small, is important. Most of our customers come to us through referrals. That's because our number one priority is service. We serve a wide variety of customers, such as restaurants, retail stores, manufacturers, trucking companies, and many more. Our capabilities include design, production, and installation. How can we help? We are located at Bird Rock at the Woods Right compound. Call us at 869-763-1511 or 784-491-7599. Multigraphics.
KVK Enterprises at Boyd's Housing Development, Trinity Parish, St. Kitts. For all your t-shirt printing, banners and signs, promotional products, shipping, motivational speeches, computer classes, agro-processing, art and craft, and desktop publishing. Come to KVK Enterprises at Boyd's Housing Development, Trinity, St. Kitts. Telephone 661-0118 or 765-7270. Email drkhrystus@kvklives.com or visit www.kvklives.com. KVK Enterprises.